Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. So this watch is a third-generation Vacheron Constantin Overseas self-winding, and I think it's fun to feature it because we don't often see the combination of rose gold silver dial and a brown rubber strap. But this is the third-generation Overseas self-winding, the current generation, originally launched in 2016. It's a 41 millimeter watch. It's delightfully thin at 10.8 millimeters thick. In rose gold, it's fairly substantial, but not super broad across the wrist at 47.7 millimeters from lug to lug. We throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. And I would say if you think you're borderline to wear this watch, the way to wear it for best fit is going to be on the rubber strap. It's softer than the leather, and it's also much more flexible than the bracelet. The watch can still be fit with a bracelet or the leather if you want because of the quick release lug, but I prefer this setup. It is flat, it will fit under a dress cuff, so this watch that has sort of 1 foot in the world of dress watches and 1 in the world of sports watches could definitely do double duty on the beach and the boardwalk, but also the boardroom. I'd recommend it for a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference or larger. You can see the lugs are not over the edge of my wrist, and that down the barrel angle is always the definitive one. The clasp is fairly robust. You can see it features the Maltese cross motif, the logo of Vacheron externally. It does have twin trigger release. You got to press both triggers. The Maltese cross quoted again inside. You can see a combination of polish and media blast, and that screws and bars are used to fix the clasp to the strap. Look carefully and you can see the use of ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps. So the idea there is that the ceramic pin snap can never be worn down by the gold, so it will always be snappy and tight. The quick release system, I mentioned it a second ago, it's a pull tab. It's very user-friendly. So you just pull the tab and it pops right off. A very easy system to use. It's just like the seatbelt buckle of a car, and even, looking at this through a rangefinder, I'm able to do it fairly easily, which is not always the case with these quick release systems. Also important, the case is nuanced. You can see a combination of satin finish, polish. There's this lovely bevel along the side, screw down crown, Maltese cross again, 150 meters water resistant and anti-magnetic to 25,000 ampere per meter. It will keep good time in the presence of up to 25,000 amperes per meter of magnetic flux density. You have this little round plinth and then the bezel on top of it, a distinctive feature of the third generation Overseas. You can see inside the bezel is satinated, but externally it's polished, and that you do have this sort of Maltese cross motif all the way around. The watch is loomed. The watch is well loomed. We have rose gold hands and indices, so they will never tarnish or oxidize. A little chaptering outboard for reading your minutes and seconds. And then we've got a sunburst metallic silver center with a rose gold logo and frame for the date. The watch does not feature hacking. That's just about the only feature it does not have. It does have a quick set for the date, so if you wish, you can rapidly cycle the date. And it is a screw-down crown. The third generation Overseas brought with it a lot of firsts, including display case backs, manufacturer movements, and Geneva hallmark. This caliber 5100 automatic ceramic bearings, 22 karat rotor, 2 barrels, 60-hour power reserve, 4 hertz beat rate, 37 pivot joules, and the high horology and chronometer standard of adjustment, which is 5 positions, and you can see 5 positions right there. Geneva hallmark, I wanted to mention it's a Geneva hallmark movement, but since mid-2012, you can see it's on the case as well. It has been a full watch test and a standard that the fit-finish materials of the entire watch must meet. Now you can see we have broad bridges here with stripes. We have mirrored bevels, locating pegs that are used to locate structures on substructures, such as bridges on plate. You can see those pegs have been polished on their top. The bevels are particularly impressive. Wheels are satinated. Screw heads are mirror finished with chamfered slots and circumference. The stripes are particularly narrow and perfectly aligned, and I think that narrow stripes in general are more taxing because they require you to make the operation again and again without overlapping too much or too little. Broad stripes are cheaper to apply. Narrow stripes a little bit more difficult. You can see all of the jewel sinks also include internal beveling, the partridge eye effect, so really well done. There are 4 separate finishes on this hand-finished 22 karat rotor, and note they use 22 karat, not 21, not 18. And then at center we have a sunburst sort of solarization on the ball bearing center with ceramic bearings used for low friction and low maintenance requirements. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.